Hi, thanks for joining us today. My name is Ryan Otto. I'm the owner and president of Accent Financial Services. Today we're going to be talking about the BOI report, Beneficial Ownership Information Report. The first thing that you need to know is this is a compliance issue, just like doing your taxes. You have to do your taxes. You have to file this report. There are very steep penalties for not doing it. If you miss your deadline, they're going to charge you $500 per day every day after your deadline. And that's going to cap out at $10,000. That's a lot of penalties. And if FinCEN decides that you're doing this willfully, not submitting your report on purpose, they can also put you in jail for up to 2 years. Steep penalties for this. Let's talk about what this is. So, the Corporate Transparency Act was passed in 2021, and it went through Congress, and Congress was tackling this issue because of financial crimes. And they wanted to help out FinCEN, which is the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. So basically, what they said is FinCEN's having a tough time getting to the bottom of a bunch of these companies. Let's give them a tool to do that. So they came up with the Beneficial Ownership Information Report. The idea is that any company that exists, you have to say who is at the very bottom level of the ownership of that company. So this company is owned by this company, this company is owned by this company, this company is owned by this company. At the very bottom of it, this company is owned by this person. That's what they want to know about. Why were they doing this? Well, FinCEN is our branch of the government that is tackling financial crimes. And when you think about financial crimes, you think about tax evasion, you think about money laundering, you think about terrorist financing. Those are the things that FinCEN is going after. So the idea here is that, and there's a bunch of countries that do this already. And we're trying to give our people some tools to do the same type of thing and try to get to the bottom of some of these crimes. Now, interestingly, other countries have different types of laws. For us, we have the Constitution, and it says you're allowed to and not allowed to do certain things. So there have already been a number of legal cases revolving around the CTA and the BOI reports. One of them, in March, the case was actually, they decided that the CTA was unconstitutional. It exceeds the Constitution's limits on congressional power. And that's a pretty big thing. Like, hey, okay, so what's going to happen with this? There's more cases going on right now. That particular case said, hey, you're not allowed to have my information for this. There's another case going on that says, hey, you're infringing on states' rights. Businesses are a state entity, and you shouldn't be allowed to go past what the states are doing. And there's about 4 others that are happening right now as we speak. And basically, everybody is saying, hey, you're not supposed to have this information. So there's a couple different things that are happening right now. On the one hand, New York has decided to essentially do its own version of this. They called it the New York LLC Transparency Act. And it's basically the CTA just at the state level. Congress, on the other hand, has now seen the pushback on all of this and said, you know what, maybe this wasn't the right approach for us to do it. So there's 3 bills that are out there right now. HR 4035 is designed to delay this until we figure out how to do it right. HR 5119 is the same thing. Let's delay the enforcement until we can decide what's the best way to do it. And HR 4187 is actually just going to overturn the entire CTA. There's some stuff that's happening, but what you need to understand is even though there's legal challenges to this, it's still in effect. And even though one case has already been won against this, that case only applies to the plaintiffs of the case, not to you or I. So we still have to do it. Who needs to do it? Basically, anybody who has an LLC or corporation. There are some exceptions to this. So there's exceptions for publicly held companies. And the reason for that is all of their information is already on file with the SEC. There's also some carve outs for other regulated institutions like banks or particular types of accounting firms where all of their information at the base level of their company is already known by the government. So they don't have to do this type of report. But essentially, everybody else does. When do you have to do this? So if you have a company that was formed before January 1st of this year, 2024, you've got until the end of this year to do your report. That's good. That's plenty of time. We're only in July right now. For any companies that were formed in 2024, starting on January 1st, it started off, you only have 30 days where you're supposed to do this. Except they didn't make a big enough deal about it, so people didn't know that it needed to happen. So they've extended that to 90 days. So any companies that are formed in 2024, you have 90 days to get your BOI report filed. Starting January 1st of next year, it goes back to 30 days. That's all you have. So if you form a company next year, you only have 30 days to submit your report. You also only have 30 days if you change things in your company. If you change ownership, if you change addresses, if your owners change addresses, any of those things that happen, you have to go update your BOI report. Now, how do you do that? It's actually not as big a deal as you might think. You can do it yourself. Absolutely. I went and I did mine just because I wanted to see how it was going to go. Honestly, it took me about 10 minutes. And if you want to do it yourself, make sure you have your company information handy and make sure you have a scanned version of a government ID front and back. You're going to need to answer some questions and upload your photo ID. And if you want to do that, there's a handy little link right here that you can use right here. Yeah, anyway, I'll do this whole thing over again. There's a handy little link right here that you can use that will take you to the BOI filing with FinCEN. If you'd like, we're going to offer the service also. And we're not going to charge that much. We're going to charge $125. We're going to need, and if you're a current client of ours, we probably have most of your information. We're just going to need that photo ID, and we'll be able to take care of the whole thing for you. If you don't want to do it yourself, you want to find somebody else to do it, there's lots of companies out there right now that are doing this service. Be careful with them. You also need to consider how complicated are you? Because if you're easy, it's pretty easy to do it yourself. And there's services that charge $80 and you can keep it up for years to come. Or if you're complicated and it's going to take a bunch of different steps and a bunch of different layers to deal with your particular stuff, there are services that charge up to $3,000 to go through all of your layers and file your reports in the right way. Find them on your own. Be careful because there are already a bunch of scams going on with this, which obviously the thing that they're trying to fight is financial crime. Well, there you go. You've already got scams going on with this. That's how you do it. So just a quick recap. Complying with this is really easy. It's your name, address, some company information about you, and government ID. How are they defining beneficial owners? If you own 25% or more of the company, or you exercise substantial control. And substantial control, you just think of it like your president, your vice president, your CEO, your CFO. Those are the people that have substantial control over the company. Do this quick so that you avoid the penalties. $500 a day is no joke. Get it done. All right, that's all we have to talk about today. We're happy to help you if you need help doing this. We're also happy to help you with anything else that you need when it comes to accounting work, bookkeeping, tax strategy, business strategy, actually doing your tax preparation. We're here to help you. Feel free to reach out to us anytime. Here's all of our contact information, and thank you for joining us today. Have a great day.